Hi, this is Ron Kubitz, PHRA Social Media Committee, here again at the PHRA Annual Conference. And I'm here with Mike Aitken. He's the Vice President of Government Affairs for SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management. Mike, nice to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to take a few minutes with you. Now, you are, as I said, the Vice President of Government Affairs for SHRM. What exactly does that entail?
Well, as the head of Government Affairs for SHRM, I'm responsible for setting the public policy direction of the association, and that includes our work at both the federal, state, and local level in all three branches of government. So the executive branch, the regulations, guidance that comes out from the various different federal and state agencies, the legislative branch where the legislation is really formed, and the judicial branch where the kind of tire hits the road or teeth are put into the law itself. So we're active in all three branches. We have members engaged in all three branches. And the overall goal is to really come out with the best workplace policy that works for employees and employers.
Okay, great. Now, obviously, this is a very important time with elections coming up and conclusion of one, presidency. See how we go forward. What are some of the key issues that are currently on the Hill that may or may not proceed, depending on what happens, and how can the upcoming elections affect our HR world?
Well, Ron, the key issues that are before this Congress and really will bleed into the next Congress have to do with tackling the overall deficit and tax reform, and how those issues could in fact impact an employer in retaining and recruiting and retaining qualified employees. For example, what will tax reform mean to employer-sponsored health care and pension plans? What about other types of employee benefits, such as employer-provided educational assistance that allows employers to provide education assistance for graduate and undergraduate level courses? That is one of the provisions that is set to expire at the end of the year. Is known as the Bush-era tax cuts. That's something that SHRM and others will be working to try and extend. So a lot of key issues before in this lame duck session that will reconvene after the election, and then in the first 6 months of the next year, we'll continue to have the conversation about tax reform. And of course, SHRM's role will be making sure that Congress does no harm when it comes to employer-sponsored benefits.
Great. Now, obviously, you have a very important role, but you can't do everything alone. What can we as HR professionals do to maybe be more involved in the public policy aspect?
Sure, Ron. One of the things that we always talk about, and I've got a great team in SHRM headquarters in Virginia, but one of the key roles that our members can play is to become an advocate for effective workplace policy. SHRM launched an initiative about 2.5 years ago called the SHRM Advocacy Team, or A-Team. And the goal of that is to get a group of advocates in each congressional district across the United States for them to develop a professional relationship with that elected official, to be able to share with them their thoughts and perspectives on the issues of the day before Congress and in fact probably before state legislatures, to help educate them, but also to try and shape effective workplace policy. The A-Team is into its third year, as I mentioned. We're actively recruiting individuals to serve as members of the A-Team, and it's a great way for SHRM members to be involved in the public policy process. We'd love you to come to Washington, but you can do it right here locally, where that relationship's the most important. You know, often when you're a constituent, you think of yourself as an individual voter, but employers in a congressional district or in a state are just as important constituents as voters are as well. And educating that member of Congress about the things that you're doing at your work site, whether it's workplace flexible policies, whether it's a great EAP, whether it's a phenomenal benefits package, sharing with them some of the things you're doing to try and engage and retain qualified and good employees. I think it's a really good story for organizations to be able to tell to their member of Congress.
Sure, that's great. Let's end on a lighter note. Obviously, we're here in Pittsburgh for the annual conference, and I understand that you'll be spending some more time upcoming here in Pittsburgh. Why is that?
That's right. Ron, I'll be spending more time in Pittsburgh as my oldest son is a freshman at Carnegie Mellon University, so I'm helping to contribute to the western, to the economic interest of the western part of your state. We also have some relatives in the Pittsburgh area, but it's provided us the opportunity to get to know the city of Pittsburgh in much more detail. It's a great city. We've enjoyed our time here. I'm not looking forward to driving in the mountains during the winter months.
That can be tough.
But we've very much enjoyed our time here and getting to visit Carnegie Mellon University, but wider Pittsburgh as well.
Well, that's great. Well, we certainly appreciate your great keynote that you gave this morning, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very
your
much
time.
for having me.
Thank you.